Hey, what is up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to this channel update video. The main reason I'm making this is because originally I was going to do it in text form, but then I realised it'd probably just go on for too long and it would probably make no sense. So I'm going to do a bit more of a raw video to kind of just talk about a few things, mainly one being the channel, the content, and then you're going to kind of see why the video is titled the way it is, because I'm going to kind of talk about my sort of personal life and share it with you guys. I've always been kind of quite open about that, because I do think it's kind of put things into a new perspective in terms of where I want to go with YouTube and how I see YouTube. So let's just get straight into it. Let's just kind of cover the elephant in the room. Gran Turismo 7. We all know that in general, Polyphony's treated this game like absolute junk, and you know, in terms of updates, apart from maybe a handful of decent ones, most of them have just been absolutely terrible, and I've covered nearly everything I can with this game, and I don't want to kind of go the repetitive route of just making the same thing over and over again, because I don't want to suffer from creator burnout. Now, that's clear. But at the end of the day, I am grateful for this product. If it wasn't for this product, I wouldn't have made kind of the channel I have. You know, it did blow my channel up 18 months back, and it's put me in a place where I can sort of enjoy racing games and bring content to you guys. It's pretty insane to think about. So I'm always grateful for Gran Turismo 7, don't get me wrong, so I will never ever hate the game. I just don't like the way that Polyphony's kind of mistreated such a quality product that is absolutely insane and insanely good at its foundations. It just needs to be kind of built upon. Now, in terms of the content, like I said, do I want to be repeating content? No. This then leaves me with going down two different routes for the channel. Either go down the maximum clickbait route of making sort of AI generated images and misleading titles, or just absolutely making up topics off the top of my head to get as many clicks as possible, or going down the route of actually enjoying making my content and making my content for me, giving the viewer a better experience overall, because it doesn't, you know, kind of feel forced. So let's quickly just touch on the clickbait route. Is that really, you know, a route I want to go down? Absolutely. Clickbaiting every single video I can, misleading titles, misleading thumbnails. No. Number one, because I don't think it's good for a channel's credibility in the long term. I think it just makes an absolute joke of your channel in the long term, and most of the subscribers that you will get in from doing that will be interested for a couple of videos, and they'll just go off to the next, you know, big clickbait title and the next hot topic, really, of to kind of talk about. Until that turns out to be absolute BS, and it's just a way I don't want to go down. I don't want to go down the absolute clickbait route. Now, don't get me wrong, when it comes to creating content, you still have to make, in a way, clickbait. You know, you have to make a clickable title, a clickable thumbnail. You need to make something that is going to want to make the viewer actually, you know, click that video. If you don't, then you're kind of just doing it wrong. In a sense, YouTube's always going to be, if you get to the monetized stage, something that you can make an income on. You know, you've got to at least kind of get some return on the time that you're putting out. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to go down the route of absolutely baiting everyone and just being an absolute running meme and a complete joke, but no, it's not a route I want to go down. You know, obviously, in a sense, I will have to do some sort of, I guess, clickbait, but I kind of like to call that more legit bait. I want to keep it related to the video, related to, you know, what I'm talking about. And in terms of, you know, I guess a niche that this channel has covered, which is the news, I want to keep that as reliable and informed as possible. If I just go ahead and talk about some random topic that could possibly be coming to the game, which clearly isn't, then you know, all I'm going to do is kind of just ruin my own credibility. And one thing I do enjoy doing is keeping people up to date with the news. I always make sure my kind of, you know, sources are reliable as possible. It doesn't always necessarily work out that way. That just kind of is what it is, but in terms of actually, you know, reliable sources and legitimate sources, that's kind of the place I want to go. And then obviously not everyone has Twitter or wants to scroll the internet for Gran Turismo news and might want to see it in a video form, and that's kind of what I do. You know, I've always enjoyed doing that alongside the likes of grinds and talking about car history and reviewing them within Gran Turismo. And, you know, again, like I said, I've been doing that for a while and it does get repetitive, but I want to kind of keep it fresh with this channel by doing content I want to make in between, you know, some of the Gran Turismo stuff. And in terms of classic Gran Turismo games, that is always going to be my roots, I guess, you know, place that I started in terms of, you know, racing games, and I do have a massive passion for them. But, you know, in terms of bringing that to the channel, I do want to do it. It just takes a lot longer. You know, some of these videos can take anywhere from weeks to months to actually make and get them where you want to be. You know, I want those classic Gran Turismo videos to be as high quality as possible and as good as possible, so when they release, you can just kind of get the same kind of, you know, you sort of see the passion through it and the love that I do have for this series. So is Gran Turismo going anywhere from the channel? No, but I don't want to go down the baiting route. All I want to do is kind of make content for me. So yes, the Gran Turismo, I guess, uploads maybe more spread out, but this kind of gives me an opportunity to make content I want to, and content that's fresh in between, you know, covering the likes of, you know, the more latest and greatest racing games, the likes of, you know, the WRC coming up, Forza coming up, the Crew Motorfest coming up, the likes of Hot Wheels coming up, alongside Gran Turismo, to keep this channel always kind of up to date. That's why I went down the route of making the other two channels. So I've got my two-wheel channels. Again, in terms of the ride content, MotoGP, I absolutely love those games. I want to cover them, but there is no point in me putting them up on a channel that is going to have the YouTube algorithm direct those videos to my usual key audience, which is, you know, people that play Gran Turismo. You know, most of them might not be interested in two-wheeled stuff at all. Some of them may be, but there's no point in me kind of aiming for a demographic that overall isn't my target for those videos. So that's why that channel was made. It's same with the retro stuff. There's a bunch of classic racing games I absolutely love outside of the Gran Turismo series that I do want to cover, and that is why I made that channel, again, for more long-term projects and to kind of build them from the ground up, so that the videos actually get pushed to the correct demographic that I want to actually aim for. So there we go. Overall, in terms of the channels, you know, I don't want to be going down the full baiting route to maximize my income. To be totally honest, I don't really necessarily care. I want to go down the route of making content that I want to make. You know, I want to enjoy my time making content. I want to, you know, I'm in a privileged position, and I want to be able to bring you guys informative videos, as well as obviously much better long-term things. And like I said, look, the classic Gran Turismo content, it is coming to the channel. It's where my roots are in gaming. Again, it's just more long-term and might take a bit of a while to sort of push out, alongside the Gran Turismo 7 stuff and obviously all of the other latest and greatest racing games. I want to keep this on the main channel. Obviously the main meat will always be Gran Turismo. That's not going to change. If you're into Gran Turismo stuff, then yes, this is still a Gran Turismo, you know, main centered channel, but there is more I want to explore within creating content. There's more games and more different racing games I want to explore, and for the latest releases, I'm just going to keep them on here. And like I said, for the other channels, they are aimed at completely, you know, different demographics, and that's why I made them. I don't necessarily want to make money off them. I just want to ensure that those videos are being pushed to the right people. So that's kind of where I want to go with the content thing. I don't want to go down the entire misleading clickbait thing, because again, it's not going to be good for my long-term growth. It completely destroys my credibility within this sort of, I guess, niche, to be quite honest, as I've always tried to build up my channel on the most informative stuff possible. It's the same for everything. So yeah, that's the way it's going with the channels. This one will always be Gran Turismo related. That's kind of that out of the way. Let's kind of move on to why I titled the video the way I did, life. Okay, so let's just kind of talk about my origin story first. I think most of you people will probably know how I ended up, you know, doing YouTube. So back at the end of 2021, myself and my partner had a miscarriage, and we basically took a week off from work and got fired for that, which was great fun right before Christmas. It did put us in a fairly dark place for, you know, like the first couple of months of 2022, and obviously at the time, to pass time while job searching and stuff, I just, you know, made content on YouTube. I mean, it was absolutely terrible, but it was something to do and pass the time. And obviously Gran Turismo was coming out. It's the franchise I started off gaming with, so obviously I was gonna, you know, get myself in debt to purchase Gran Turismo 7, and obviously that turned out to be a good decision in the long term, and obviously my channel just blew up from it. You know, that's always why I'm going to be thankful to Polyphony and this game. Even if at times I do absolutely despise the route it's gone, I'm always going to be thankful to it for what it did personally, for me. So no, I don't hate Gran Turismo 7 for anyone that seems to think I do. So yeah, and then obviously, 2022 was good. It was a real good time. I was working full time, doing YouTube full time. It was absolutely awesome. We had a few problems at the start of 2023. So I'm going to kind of talk about what's been happening recently, or let's just start with this year in general. So 2023 has been absolutely terrible, to be quite honest. Back in May, I did put a post up, and I will link all of the Samaritans numbers. If any of you guys ever feel like that, and just please go and reach out and get help. Anyone is there. I don't even care if it's me. I'm always available on Twitter. Anything like that, just drop me a message if you're feeling like you're in a place where you want to end up, kind of taking your life. So back in May, I found a work colleague and a good friend of both me and my partner actually, had taken his own life. Seeing it firsthand, it's not something I ever wanted to see, and it wasn't in any kind of nice, not dramatic way possible. Like, of course, there's always a dramatic way to, it's never going to be nice, but it wasn't pleasant, put it that way, and it's not an image I ever want to see again. There is this kind of thing that I've kind of seen where men are usually the ones to take the more violent route of ending their lives over women, and I can kind of see why. It just wasn't pleasant. So that's kind of when I started to sort of take a step back from YouTube, and it kind of carried on even up until recently. Kind of moving on to last Friday, it was almost like history repeating itself. Me and my partner yet again had another miscarriage. Obviously, once more, it's just not a nice feeling, to be quite honest, especially when it happens again and again, to the point that we've been together quite a while, but there's no point in us kind of trying anymore. It's just not great. It was really not good. So obviously at the same time as doing everything I do, working, doing YouTube, I'm just trying to keep her going. And to kind of top it off though, only a few nights ago, I then had a family member of mine attempt to try and take their own life, which is the second one this year. Luckily we got there in time. Luckily we got the help that they need, and obviously crisis teams and such, and paramedics and stuff, and I am massively grateful to those people for helping. It's just been a pretty rough week, and it's kind of made me reevaluate what I want to do with this channel and where I want it to go. At the end of the day, making content originally for me was an escapism. It was a chance for both me and my partner to just get away from things, play some cool video games, and just have fun. And that's kind of what I want to do with the channel going forward. I want to make the Gran Turismo stuff, but I also want to experiment in other areas, and these are my reasons why, to be quite honest. I just want to do it for the fun. I'm not bothered about the income. I'm not bothered about chasing the numbers. I just want to do what I want to do for this channel, and just escape from how crappy reality can be. So yeah, life's pretty dark at the minute, and I do hope you guys bear with me whilst I'm still trying to get myself back on my feet. It's probably going to take a while, but it just is one of those things, and I'm still going to be making content for you guys. Like I said, it's more of an escape more than anything. It keeps my mind focused, it keeps my mind away from things, and it gives me something to do and enjoy. So yeah, I just wanted to give you guys an update instead of just putting it in a wall of text, to kind of get my voice out there, do something a bit more raw and a bit more straight to the point about where I want to go with Gran Turismo, what I want to do with the content, my entire life situation at the minute. And hopefully you guys kind of understand why maybe I'm not as active as I once was in the comments, or maybe why I kind of start taking breaks away. That at the end of the day, I want to prioritize a healthy life. So at the end of the day, that's the way I want to be with my content creation as well. Instead of feeling like I have to chase numbers, I want to be able to enjoy it once more. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being understanding. No, Gran Turismo is not going anywhere. I'm just broadening my horizons and covering other things that I want to do and that I want to enjoy. Be good people, take care, and in all honesty, just look after each other. Like I said, if any of you guys do ever have a thought of wanting to just end things, please don't. Even if you're reaching out to someone like me or anyone really, there's always help out there, and people will listen. Thank you so much. Take care, guys. Peace.